Socialization is a process of becoming a member of a social group that accompanies a person throughout their entire life. One acquires the necessary roles, values, and standards as a result. People and institutes that facilitate the process are the agents of socialization, although some, particularly from the former group, may not realize their importance. This paper will discuss each agent and the respective role in depth. Socialization logically starts in the family, where a person spends the most time during the early years. Children acquire basic cultural knowledge, acceptable behaviors, and various social skills. The important aspects of early socialization are its quality, characterized by warmth, security, and reciprocity, and relational processes, which directly affect one's behavior. It is not uncommon for relatives to focus on one of those and ignore the other, but it can be detrimental to a child's later development. As for me, the family was responsible for developing my moral qualities and values, and while I rarely received a punishment, I knew what was right or wrong based on my parents' reactions and words. The second agent of socialization moving forward is school, where a person can spend a considerable amount of time if higher education is included. Education's role in the process is to transmit society's cultural legacy and tools, including knowledge and skills, to a new generation. It is done for an individual's development and, ideally, for students to actively participate in the social landscape and shape it. Due to the established goals, school may seem like a conservative institute, but it is not always true. To successfully prepare future citizens, schools should combine traditional and progressive elements, as values may remain static, but knowledge is relatively dynamic. I would say that compared to my family, school as an institute was mostly responsible for developing patriotic feelings and respect for science. It was not always a pleasant experience, as a teacher's personality could affect my interest in a subject or an idea, but it also taught me how to communicate with people in a superior position. Once a person starts interacting with people of their age outside of the family, peer socialization begins. Its intensity and relevance depend on the developmental stage, as communication in kindergarten is vastly different from being involved with teenage peers. With the former, the family's influence is still strong, so it does not produce much effect, but in the latter case, a person finds people of the same age more relevant. Thus, they acquire new values, emotions, patterns, potentially overriding those that existed formerly. While a group's influence can vary, being rejected particularly affects socialization and leads to externalized behavioral issues. Out of all agents, peer groups are, perhaps, most unpredictable and dynamic. One can go through many peers by changing schools, jobs, or maturing, but they can still leave a lingering impact. While I cannot say that any peer group managed to make me a new person, they taught me such concepts and emotions as love, friendship, betrayal, and others. Religion is another important socialization agent, although it may not be equally relevant for everyone. It is an important source of values, morals, and life orienteers for those who are religious. Sacred texts serve as their source and provide knowledge relevant to the community and unobtainable through other means. While my family attended church on Sundays and adhered to the 10 Commandments, they were not overly religious. Regardless, I absorbed those Christian values as a child, and they are an integral part of my moral compass. During and after school, one's workplace, be it part-time or full-time, becomes an important agent. While starting a new job, people acquire new knowledge, roles, make new connections, and adapt to the so-called organizational culture. The process is important to make all employees share a common goal and a sense of belonging to the organization while providing the necessary information to make them successful. As one's identity is more or less formed by working age, a person may choose an occupation that facilitates their existing identity. However, some are not so fortunate and have to do a job that conflicts with theirs, which hinders occupational socialization and adaptation. I have limited experience working part-time, and my organization taught me nothing except discipline, but in the future, a full-time job will surely influence me. In conclusion, agents of socialization accompany a person throughout their life and help one acquire the values, skills, roles, and knowledge necessary to exist within a social group. The process starts in the family, which provides the foundation, and continues in school and at work while being surrounded by peers, who either facilitate or complicate socialization. Religion can also be an important agent, even if a person is not very religious. In the end, all of them leave their trace and make someone both a unique personality and a member of society. This and many other essays are available at studycorgi.com.